How's it going, folks? This is Mark from Top Notch Farms, and it's a beautiful fall day here. Got an ambulance going by. I'm not sure if you guys can hear that in the background. But yeah, we're just out getting ready to, just doing some final prep here. I'm just getting ready to pour a slab tomorrow. So this is our commercial kitchen building, and this is also where we store our apples. And so this was an existing garage that they had on the property when we took ownership, and we gutted it and we insulated, got it all switched around to be where we make apple cider, and we make some other food products in there. We've rented it out a little bit as well for a commercial kitchen space, but one of the problems was we were always kind of dragging dirt in and mud in, and anytime we were loading stuff in, we were hauling gravel and dirt in. So one of the nice to haves was going to be to finally finishing up the space was just to pour a cement slab here. So we've got everything kind of framed in. We're going to be going for, it's about a 33 foot wide slab by about 10 feet deep. And so now I just have to do a few things. I just got out a board here and with my measuring tape, and I think a few sections here are a little bit deeper. I'm aiming for a 4-inch slab. I would say that there's a couple areas that are a little bit deeper, so I'm gonna have to throw some fill in. Throw some fill in here. They look like they originally had a 5-inch slab there that they poured. So so the plan is I'm gonna go grab some fill this in. I'm going to probably take that board out there, and then that way I can drive in here and I'll compact this down with the tractor. So we'll try and make sure it's nice and firm with the tractor. Then we're going to put down a plastic sheet just to kind of isolate the plastic, and I want to probably have that lip up against the building here, because I don't want the two slabs to be connected. And then we have some wire mesh here that we're going to use to reinforce the slab. So we're going to install this, and as well we bought these rebar chairs, so those will hold the rebar or wire mesh up off the ground. So we want to make sure that that mesh is into the slab into a good height. If it's just sitting on the ground, it's not really doing its job. So I mean, I'm no concrete expert, I'm no structural engineer, but you know, just a quick little bit of research on the internet kind of led me to that. I mean, in my younger days in my family farm, we did a lot of cement work ourselves, so I'm half familiar with the process. I wouldn't claim to be an expert by any stretch, but that's often what farming is. You're kind of a jack of all trades and a master of none. Anyways, so again, let's go grab some fill in some of the low spots here, kind of try and get this maybe a little bit more compacted just with the tractor, and then we'll get the mesh or the plastic, then the mesh, and on those chairs. So yeah, just thought you guys might like to see the job. And I just booked the concrete truck, so we're getting 6.5 yards delivered tomorrow, and that's going to be all the cement for this area. And as well here, I might as well take and show you. So we're doing the 33 foot by 10 foot slab there. It's going to be about 5 inches deep at max. I did order a little bit extra concrete because the last thing I want to do is run out. And then the other thing we're doing here is we're building a compost bin system. So when we're making a lot of apple cider, this is our current compost pile over here. So it's, you know, I tried using pallets and such, but it's a mess. It doesn't look good. My wife's not a big fan of it. So what we got on the go here is I've got the footings done, and what we're doing here is we have basically we're going to be building 3 bays. These are 8 feet deep by 8 feet wide, and then we're going to use, once we have the footings done, I have someone I think that's going to come and give me a hand, and we're going to build some cinder block walls. Originally I thought about just renting some forms and pouring the walls, but man, renting forms in our area is really expensive. It was going to be like $700 or $800 just to rent the forms, let alone to put the concrete in them. So I figure I'm hopefully further ahead by putting a cinder block wall in. I've never done cinder block walls, so that's why I figured I'd ask for some help. So anyways, this is pretty much all done. I didn't video any of this because it wasn't very exciting. It's just, you know, building a form. These are basically, we're doing foot wide footing, and then we're going to be using 6-inch blocks. We got some roosters up here that are kind of establishing themselves, so they're cock-a-doodle-doing in the background here. Anyways, time to stop talking here and get at it, I guess. So like I said, I'm gonna go fill in some of the low spots, grab some fill, switch the tractor around, put the bucket on it, and I'll open that end piece up so I can drive the tractor in and out here. Alright, I got that piece out of the way. So let's go put the bucket on the tractor. So we're really at the end of August here, here in Atlantic Canada. I'm in Prince Edward Island. So it's a pretty nice day today, but man, oh man, it's like someone flicks a light switch around here, and the weather just went from being hot to, yeah, I mean, it's nice out, but it is not exceedingly warm. So if anyone's curious here, I'm just going to disconnect the tractor bucket. There's some quick hitch pins here. This is a skid steer quick attach. So basically I can take these pins out, and you can see here that breaks the connection there. So now I can disconnect this, and the material bucket is over there. So my tractor was a pretty much a nice purchase for the addition of our homestead and our farm. It's a pretty handy tool to have. I can't imagine us trying to work without it. So we can see here, I'm just trying to line up the edges of the quick attach to the edge of the bucket. What I usually do is I pick one edge to line up, and then I'll cut my wheels in so it looks like I'm connected on both, because it can only fit so much, and then I just pull up and tilt it back. So I have the skid steer plate on there, so let me just back up a little bit. So it's attached now, but it's not connected. So you can see here, and actually in this case you can see that the pin's not in the right place. So that pin needs to be able to lock down into that groove. So you're just going to have to go back in the tractor here. That doesn't usually happen very often, but you know, it's because I'm taping, so I'm trying to do a video. That's going to happen. So here. So I'm just that should have it. So you can see now how that's when I engage this, that tooth goes down, you can see here that that tooth is engaging with the bucket. So now we're just gonna go get a bucket of shale here. Anyways, I'm pretty happy with this Kubota. It's an L4760, so it's 47 horsepower. The loader is a, I think it's 1123, which means it's good for 1,000 or 1,100 kilograms. So what's that, about 2,500 pounds or so. I sized it to that level to ensure we do all our firewood for our wood burning in the winter, based around I built pallets and I load my firewood on to dry in season throughout the summer, and then I wanted to make sure my tractor was able to pick it up. So this was the minimum horsepower I could get with that size loader on it, and I'm glad I went with that. The extra loader capacity has not been a disappointment. The only trick is sometimes the back of the tractor is maybe sometimes not heavy enough. So anyways, if anyone's curious how you load some material, so basically I'm just going to square up to the pile here, and you can see that little gauge on the right hand side. When that is even, your tractor bucket, if it's on the ground, is even. You can set that to different. I mean, that's customizable. That's why there's a bolt on it. But anyways, my tractor bucket's going to be a little bit in the air, so I'm going to go a little bit forward here, give it a little bit of fuel, and we'll drive into the pile. And now I'll curl the tractor bucket back. And I'll shake it so we have a little bit less material to fall off. And there we go. We have a load of what we would call shale soil, or basically when we had our well put in, this was some extra soil that was left over, so they just dropped it down here in a pile, and I've been just using it to build the pad for the compost pile, and going to use it for some fill here. So this is the back side of our this building. See, there's the cooler that we use with the CoolBot to cool our space, cool our apple storage. Here I'm just taking out, as memory serves, there was a little bit here that needed, so I'll just dump a little bit. But it was mainly back here was a low spot. Dump all of it. Okay, that's the easy part. Now's the manual step. Get out and shovel. Okay, so there we go. So I cut a block of wood just to serve as a guide here. So I'm trying to pour my pad so it'll be even with the existing pad, because I want to be able to use a hand cart. When I drop a 700-pound bin of apples out here, I want to be able to go in it with my hand cart trolley and be able to then just roll it in here. So you can see that's a fair bit low there. So let's fill in some dirt there. Really, the way to think about this is that, you know, when I'm filling in this space, I've got my level set, so I want the level from the existing slab. I mean, I've built in a slope here so the rain will run off, but if this is too deep, it's going to require more concrete, and a cubic yard of concrete for the quality of concrete I bought, which is a sidewalks mix. It's what they recommended for exposed to the elements and such. It's 236 Canadian dollars a cubic yard, so we don't really want to use any extra concrete that we don't have to. You want the right thickness of a slab, but there's no point in building, you know, paying all that money for a slab that's thicker than you need. Go grab a tape measure. So here's the area I filled in, and you can see here, go to the bottom here, see that the previous owners had they had almost a 6-inch slab there, so that's a pretty beefy slab. So I do not need that much. So I mean, that's not packed down yet, but that's like I'm aiming for a 4-inch slab. So that's ideally what I'd like to be across the space, is a 4-inch slab. See, that's still 5 inches there, so I'm gonna go grab another bucket of topsoil. I might put it a little bit closer. I think we might have overdone it there a little. Let's check. I mean, we haven't tamped this down yet. I mean, that's just under 4 inches. So after I, you know, give that a couple passes with the tractor, that might actually be better than you might think. Okay, I'm thinking we just spread this little bit out here, and then we'll see about coming in here with the tractor to level some stuff out. can see here where I was able to drive, there was a little piece in the middle there that I was not able to get. Okay, let's tamp that down with the tractor and see where we're at. I think we're pretty close. Okay, so probably time to put the next board back in here. So basically when I was setting up these boards, I had the level of the slab from the building to work from, and then as I'm setting these up, I'm making sure that the level is draining down here, so water's going to run off. The plan, if everything goes well, is I'll probably put in some drainage tile along the front of this. And along this building, it doesn't have any drainage tile in it, so I find the water table gets pretty high around the building. We'll grab the level here. So I'm not looking for a crazy slope here, but basically you can see here there is a bit of a slope going this way. They'll say that I don't have that board up there, so let's fasten this together and we'll go from there. And I'd say my stake that I had holding this back cracked there, so I'm gonna go grab a new one of those. All right, got a new stake. Trying to give myself a splinter. So my objective is with this stake, and the same with all the other stakes, is I want to get it to be below the bottom of the board, so then as I come along to screed the top of the pad, I can just run my board nice and smooth along the top of the boards. So my plan is as we pour it, we'll screed the top, get it looking pretty decent, and then I have a pull float to do the final finish. So I grew up on a mixed pig and beef operation here in Prince Edward Island, and we did a lot of our own cement work on the farm. We did a lot of forms, we did a lot of slabs, manure handling systems. So again, I'd never say I'm an expert by any stretch, but you know, I've been around it a lot. I've handled and helped install a lot of concrete. Again, I'm not saying I'm an expert, and I'm sure some of you are out there, and if you do this on the regular, I'm sure I'm doing about 10 things wrong, and I could be doing it better. But you know, this is an outdoor slab. This is not the foundation of my house or anything. You know, if this was mission critical, I'd be hiring a professional, but for what I'm doing, I think this is good enough. Okay, so we have a pretty good slant on that board where water's going to hit it, drain, and come off. So I'm going to fasten this in place. Okay, there we've got a nice smooth transition there. Some backfill in here so the concrete won't be pushing on that too hard. And let's see here. Probably a bit much there. But I'm never going to be driving up here, so if that's a little bit sharper angle, I mean, I want it to be to the top of that slab, so I want a nice even line across there. Okay. All right. This looks pretty good. I think we're getting close to putting down that plastic. Okay, that looks pretty decent. I mean, again, it doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, the cement will definitely pack it down. So just go along and tamp this down with my feet. I only want to get so close. I don't really feel like driving into the side of the building today, especially while I have that on camera. Might make for good YouTube content, I guess. Okay, I might just take another measure here, but No, like I said earlier, I did order a 5-inch amount of concrete, so it's a little bit over. We're fine. I'd rather go too thick than too thin. Okay, let's do the measurement here. So that's 4.5 there, we'll say. Five there, 4 there. Closer to 5 there, 4 there. A little less than 4 there. I might just take, as I could see, maybe that area there. Just don't want the areas where I'm driving the tractor around mostly to be light. But I think we're gonna do that, and we'll call that done. Okay, I think we're ready to move to the next step here, which is putting this plastic down. Hopefully there's enough there. We are definitely a little short, but not by much. And I probably have another little piece of plastic here. I mean, that is, I mean, it's a little short, but as far as the width, I'm content with that. I mean, so you can see here, I mean, we're not really far off the edge there, so. And I would like the plastic to be just going up the edge of that slab just a little bit, just to help make sure that the two are separated. I better get something down there. So this is the wire mesh we're going to be using to reinforce the concrete. And when I was doing my research, basically this needs to be off the ground a little bit. So the way you do that is you have it tied in place, or you set it in chairs. So these are from Home Depot. They're a rebar chair or wire mesh, either or, and they just allow you to come in here and basically put that in place, and then that as you space them out, your concrete as it lays down will basically be in the air a little bit. This plastic's blowing a little bit. The other thing of note is there is a overlap recommended on this per code, and then you got to tie the sheets together. So if I measure one of these squares, sorry for all the jerking around here. So these are a 6-inch square. So basically you need a 1 square overlap. So let me just go grab those other pieces of wire mesh here, and then that'll keep this plastic from rolling around. So for tying the mesh together, I have these. These are, so let me get them off here. Cut this a little. So these are actually for tying the ends of bags. When we got into doing orchard stuff, I picked up an auction off of an orchard that had gone out of business, and this was some of the stuff we got. So I've just had this sitting in the shop for a while. I mean, these are not proper rebar ties, but I mean, they're pieces of wire that are gonna join them together. I mean, I don't see why they won't do the job. So basically you need to have 1 square overlapping, and then they need to be fastened together. So there we go. And I figure every so often enough. And then this is just what's providing the reinforcement to the concrete. Concrete is extremely strong under compression, but terrible under tension. So that means when it's pulling apart, really doesn't like thermal shock in it as well. So we will be cutting some holes, or not holes, we'll be cutting some expansion joints in this, or controlling where it's going to crack. Okay, so you can see there we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 joints across that mesh, and we've got an overlap of 1 square, which is the 6 inches, which seems to be what is code in my area. And you can see there we have the rebar chair, or the mesh chair, so we'll be using that to lift the mesh up in a second. So let's tie the next one together. So all I'm doing is just tying this at the corners and just trying to pull it tight and then giving it a couple turns. I mean, once the cement gets on it, it's not going to be moving. I think I said I did 5 on the previous one, so I'll aim to do 5 here as well. Okay, so that's the third piece on, so rinse and repeat for the next sections. All right, so we're at the end here, and probably not enough overlap there to be worth cutting any of this off. Oh. So that wasn't too bad. These twist ties work pretty well. They might not be exactly what they were meant for, but I think they're gonna hold this mesh together just fine. Again, it's not like I'm building a skyscraper here. This is, you know, I will be driving a tractor on that end and maybe this end a little, but no, nothing too large. So there we go. Got the other piece of plastic in there with a bunch of overlap. Okay, I don't want to walk in too much on this and put holes in it. And then I'd say for the piece here on the end, we can just cut that, cut a sheet in 2. So let's see, there's 2, 4, 6, 8 across. So if I did 2, 4, these might not be the right tool for this. Some side cutters. Yeah. before any safety police get after me, I did have my goggles on. I am kind of made a promise to myself I was going to start doing a better job of wearing this kind of stuff, because, you know, getting a spark in your eye is sure a fire way to ruin a good day and not get a lot done for a while. So I think I'm going to cheat a little bit on this last piece. Hopefully it doesn't come back to bite me, but I mean, that is, I'm not going to have the full 6 inches overlap. I'm going to have a 3-inch overlap, but you know, down here I'm not going to be driving much on it. Well, I think I'm going to be all right there. Okay, so that's the mesh done. Whew. And it is, yeah, it's probably like 20 degrees Celsius today, so pretty nice day for this time of year. Okay, so now we're going to put in some of these, the chairs, help keep the rebar off the ground. I'm not sure the best way to do this here. I mean, at the edge it's pretty easy. It's neat to see here. You can see the how opaque the that plastic has gotten. It just shows you how much moisture is looking to come up through that ground. Let's put a few of these down the row and see what they look like. So let's see. So I have 50 pieces here. I've got 1, 2, 3. I have nine pieces of mesh. I do have 2 packages, so I have 100. So I don't need to put 10 per piece, but maybe I'll aim for. Let's see what 6 looks like. So let's put one at the top here. And I'm thinking it might make sense to offset them too. So if I was to do 3, yeah, 3 and 3 is what I think I'll aim for. All right, that part's done. I think I might scatter a few through here in the middle, make like a star pattern a little bit more. But for now, I think we'll go over and we'll do the mesh on the footings for the compost bins. So yeah, let's go set up for that.